All right, bros, let's be real. Finding a good woman is like finding a decent parking spot downtown on a Friday night. Rare and requires serious effort. But it's even worse when you think you've scored that perfect spot only to realize it's a fire hydrant or a tow-away zone. That's what dating a low-value woman is like. It seems great at first, but it's gonna cost you big time in the long run. We all crave that ride or die chick, the one who's got your back through thick and thin, who makes you laugh until your stomach hurts, who brings positive energy into your life, and who, you know, actually likes you for you. But the truth is, some women are like walking through natural disasters, leaving a trail of broken hearts, empty wallets, and shattered dreams in their wake. They're masters of disguise, initially charming and seemingly into you. But it's all a facade. Underneath the surface lurks a whole lot of crazy just waiting to erupt. So, how do you protect yourself from this potential heartbreak and financial ruin? How do you learn to spot the red flags fluttering in the breeze before you're emotionally invested and it's too late to jump ship? How do you avoid turning your awesome life into a full-blown Lifetime movie? This ain't about bashing women, all right? It's about self-preservation, keeping your sanity intact, and finding someone who genuinely adds value to your life, not someone who systematically drains it. Think of this as a survival guide for navigating the treacherous waters of modern dating, a roadmap to avoiding those women who are more trouble than they're worth. Red flag. Number 1, drama is her life support, the human sparkler bomb. First and foremost, be on high alert for the drama queens. Seriously, these women can't function unless they're surrounded by chaos. If everything's peaceful, they'll feel compelled to light a match and watch things burn. A healthy woman enjoys a good time and values tranquility, but these women are allergic to calm. They need to make a scene, create conflict, and stir up trouble. If there's no drama, she'll manufacture it out of thin air. She'll pick fights over the most trivial things, twist your words into something unrecognizable, accuse you of actions you never committed, and then ice you out with the silent treatment just to watch you squirm. And the messed up part, she actually enjoys the chaos she creates. Have you ever encountered a woman who casually drops lines like, "Oh, I just love a little drama in my life," or, "If it's not exciting, it's boring"? Nice guys are so lame. Consider those statements flashing neon signs of impending doom. They're practically screaming, "Warning, high maintenance ahead. Prepare for turbulence." These women suffer from a distorted perception, confusing genuine passion with toxic chaos. Real passion stems from mutual respect, shared interests, open communication, and the ability to navigate disagreements like mature adults, not from constant screaming matches and emotional manipulation. Imagine this scenario. You plan a romantic weekend getaway, shelling out serious cash for a fancy hotel and gourmet meals. Instead of appreciating the effort, she spends the entire time complaining. The room is too small. The view is subpar. The food is too bland or too spicy. And even the weather is somehow a personal affront. What was intended as a relaxing escape morphs into a weekend-long battlefield, leaving you feeling emotionally bruised and financially depleted. Or picture this. You make a completely innocuous comment during a casual conversation, and she inexplicably blows it out of proportion, accusing you of being insensitive, uncaring, or even downright offensive. You find yourself desperately trying to explain yourself, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering another outburst, wondering how a simple statement about your favorite pizza topping could escalate into a full-blown relationship crisis. These women crave attention, like a plant craves sunlight. They need to feel important, relevant, and in control. If things are too quiet, they feel invisible and insignificant. So, they ignite conflicts and create chaos to force others to notice them, to validate their existence, and to assert their dominance in the relationship. The real danger of this pattern lies in its insidious nature. Slowly but surely, you'll find yourself walking on eggshells, constantly censoring your words and actions to avoid provoking her volatile temper. You become trapped in a cycle of appeasement, sacrificing your own needs and desires in a futile attempt to maintain a fragile peace. The constant stress and anxiety chip away at your self-esteem, leaving you feeling emotionally exhausted, resentful, and utterly lost. The solution, as the video emphasizes, is to eject the moment you recognize this toxic pattern. Don't fall into the trap of trying to fix her, to reason with her, or to convince her to change her ways. These efforts are almost always futile and will only prolong your suffering. Instead, set clear boundaries. Refuse to participate in her games and prioritize your own well-being. As the video states, bail the second you see this pattern. Don't try to fix her. Don't try to reason with her. Just walk away. It might sting at first, but trust me, you'll thank your lucky stars later. Because the cold, hard truth is that a life consumed by constant drama is simply not worth it. To truly grasp the complexity of this red flag, it's crucial to delve deeper into the underlying reasons why some women are drawn to drama. Often, it stems from unresolved trauma, deep-seated insecurities, or a distorted view of relationships. These women may have experienced difficult childhoods, characterized by neglect, abuse, or emotional instability. As a result, they may unconsciously recreate chaotic situations in their adult relationships, seeking a sense of familiarity or a twisted sense of control. They may also have low self-esteem and believe they are unworthy of genuine love and attention, leading them to seek validation through negative interactions. Furthermore, societal influences and unrealistic portrayals of romance in media can contribute to this distorted perception of relationships. These women may have internalized the belief that constant conflict is a sign of passion, that a boring relationship is a dead relationship, and that dramatic gestures are the ultimate expression of love. They may actively seek out turbulent relationships as a way to fulfill these misguided expectations, even if it comes at the expense of their own happiness. Being in a relationship with a drama queen can have devastating long-term consequences. You'll not only endure constant stress and emotional turmoil, but you may also find yourself isolating from friends and family, neglecting your own needs, and losing sight of your personal goals. The constant emotional roller coaster can take a toll on your physical health, leading to chronic fatigue, digestive problems, and even depression. Ultimately, a relationship with a drama queen is a ticking time bomb, a volatile situation that is destined to explode sooner or later. The most sensible course of action is to recognize the warning signs early on and to remove yourself from the equation before the damage becomes irreparable. Remember, you deserve a partner who values peace, stability, and mutual respect, not someone who thrives on chaos and emotional manipulation. Red flag number 2. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? The look at me girl and the addiction to external validation. Next up on our list of relationship landmines, the look at me girl. The woman who's perpetually chasing the spotlight and desperately needs the world's approval to feel good about herself. A healthy, self-assured woman is confident in her own skin and derives her sense of worth from within. But these women are addicted to external validation, constantly seeking affirmation from others to fill a gaping hole in their self-esteem. You could shower her with compliments, treat her like royalty, and bend over backwards to make her happy. But it would never be enough. She needs the constant stream of likes, comments, DMs, and admiring glances to feel worthy. This is the woman whose social media presence is a carefully curated performance, a never-ending highlight reel designed to elicit envy and admiration. Her Instagram feed is filled with strategically posed thirst traps, meticulously edited photos designed to show off her body and attract attention. She'll casually mention how many guys are hitting on her, boast about the gifts she receives from admirers, or subtly flaunt her expensive possessions, all in a desperate attempt to prove her worth to the world. And if you dare to call her out on this attention-seeking behavior, she'll deflect your concerns with a dismissive, "Oh, I can't help it if I'm attractive," or "You're just insecure. It's just Instagram. Chill." Let's be clear. It's not just Instagram. It's a symptom of a deeper problem, a sign that she values the opinions of strangers over the feelings of her partner. A high-value woman understands that true worth comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of a virtual audience. She prioritizes loyalty, trust, and genuine connection, focusing her energy on nurturing the relationship with the man she's with, not on impressing random followers online. Imagine this. You're on a romantic date, trying to enjoy some quality time together, but she spends the entire evening glued to her phone, obsessively checking her social media feeds. She's engaging in flirty conversations with other people online, sharing intimate details about her life with strangers while completely ignoring your presence. You feel invisible, unimportant, and like you're competing for her attention with a virtual world. Or consider this. You gently express your concerns about her online behavior, suggesting that her constant pursuit of validation might be detrimental to the relationship. Instead of listening to your concerns and validating your feelings, she dismisses your worries as jealousy, accusing you of trying to control her or stifle her self-expression. She may argue that she has a right to express herself online and that you shouldn't be threatened by her interactions with others, completely missing the point that it's her need for attention, not the attention itself, that is the issue. The harsh truth is that you'll never be enough for a woman who's addicted to external validation. You can shower her with love, praise, and affection, but it will never fill the void inside. Her self-worth is contingent on the approval of others, making her perpetually insecure, emotionally unavailable, and ultimately incapable of forming a deep and meaningful connection. You'll constantly be competing with a virtual world for her attention, a battle you're destined to lose. So, what do you do? As the video suggests, recognize the signs early on and walk away before you become too emotionally invested. It's not your responsibility to fix her insecurities or to provide her with the constant validation she craves. You deserve a partner who values your relationship above all else, who is capable of finding happiness and fulfillment within herself, and who doesn't need the approval of the entire world to feel worthy. Don't waste your time on someone who's chasing likes instead of building a real connection. Expanding on the "look at me" girl, unpacking the psychology of validation-seeking behavior. To effectively navigate relationships with these "look at me" types, it's crucial to understand the psychological forces driving their behavior. Often, it stems from deeply rooted issues of self-esteem and a lack of internal validation. These women may have grown up in environments where they were constantly judged, criticized, or compared to others. They may have internalized the belief that they are not good enough, smart enough, or attractive enough, leading them to seek external validation as a way to compensate for these perceived shortcomings. They may also have experienced conditional love, where affection was only given when they met certain expectations or performed in a certain way, reinforcing the idea that their worth is dependent on the approval of others. Social media has amplified these pre-existing vulnerabilities, creating a perfect storm for attention-seeking behavior. The constant barrage of carefully curated images and idealized lifestyles has fueled a culture of comparison, where individuals are constantly measuring themselves against unrealistic standards. The dopamine rush associated with receiving positive feedback online, whether it's a like, a comment, or a new follower, can become addictive, further fueling the need for external validation and creating a cycle of dependence on social media. The consequences of this validation-seeking behavior can be devastating, both for the individual and for their relationships. The constant need for external approval can lead to anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and a distorted sense of self-worth. It can also create a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction, as the fleeting approval of others can never truly fill the void within. In relationships, this behavior can manifest as jealousy, insecurity, a lack of trust, and a constant need for reassurance. The partner may feel neglected, unappreciated, and constantly compared to others. The relationship becomes a performance, a constant competition for attention and validation, rather than a genuine connection built on mutual respect and understanding. It's important to approach these situations with empathy and understanding, recognizing that the woman is likely struggling with deep-seated insecurities. However, it's also crucial to prioritize your own well-being and to set healthy boundaries. You cannot fix her problems, and you are not responsible for her happiness. If she is unwilling to address her underlying issues and continues to seek validation from external sources at the expense of the relationship, the best course of action may be to move on and find someone who values your connection above all else. Remember, you deserve a partner who loves you for who you are on the inside, not for how you look on Instagram. Red flag number 3. It's not my fault. The blame-shifting tango and the art of denying responsibility. All right, let's talk about red flag number 3. The "it's not my fault" girl. You know the type. The woman who can never ever admit she's wrong. Seriously, in her mind, she's practically perfect, except for all the problems that are perpetually someone else's fault. She lies, she screws up, she causes drama, but somehow, it always seems to be the result of external forces beyond her control. It's like she's a magnet for misfortune, a perpetual victim of circumstance. She gets caught cheating. Well, you weren't giving me enough attention. She disrespects you in front of your friends. You made me mad. You pushed me to do it. She's perpetually broke and drowning in debt. It's the economy, stupid. And my ex-boyfriend screwed up my credit. It's never ever her fault. She's always the innocent bystander, the blameless victim of a cruel and unfair world. Picture this. She completely botches a major project at work, jeopardizing her job and damaging her professional reputation. Instead of taking responsibility for her mistakes, she launches into a tirade about her incompetent boss, her lazy coworkers, and the unrealistic expectations of the company. She might even suggest that you're somehow to blame, claiming that you didn't offer her enough support or that you were too demanding of her time. Or imagine this. She consistently overspends, racking up credit card debt and leaving you both in a precarious financial situation. Instead of acknowledging her reckless spending habits and committing to a budget, she blames her lack of willpower on the temptations of consumer culture, the manipulative advertising tactics of corporations, and the societal pressure to keep up with the Joneses. This chronic blame-shifting behavior is more than just annoying. It's a fundamental character flaw that reveals a deep-seated unwillingness to take ownership of her own life. It's a sign of emotional immaturity, a lack of self-awareness, and a refusal to confront her own shortcomings. It's also a recipe for a toxic and unsustainable relationship. As the video so accurately points out, If you stay with a woman like this, she will slowly but surely drain you emotionally. As the video so accurately points out, if you stay with a woman like this, she will slowly but surely drain you emotionally, financially, and even mentally. Why? Because the moment anything goes wrong, you'll always be the convenient scapegoat, the fall guy for her mistakes. You'll become her personal punching bag, the target of her anger, frustration, and resentment. You'll find yourself constantly apologizing for things you didn't do, cleaning up messes you didn't create, and bearing the burden of her irresponsibility. This dynamic is not only exhausting but also deeply damaging to your self-esteem. You'll begin to question your own sanity, wondering if you're truly responsible for all the problems in her life. You'll start to feel inadequate, constantly falling short of her expectations and struggling to meet her ever-changing demands. You'll lose sight of your own needs and priorities, sacrificing your own happiness in a desperate attempt to appease her and maintain a fragile peace. So, what's the solution? As the video wisely advises, walk away. No arguments, no explanations, no attempts to reason with her or convince her to change. Just pack your bags, cut your losses, and make a clean break. Because the cold, hard truth is that you can't fix someone who refuses to look in the mirror, who's incapable of taking responsibility for their own actions. You're not a therapist, and it's not your job to rehabilitate her. Your job is to protect yourself, to prioritize your own well-being, and to find a partner who is willing to share the responsibility of building a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Expanding on the blame-shifting tango, delving into the psychology of deflection. To truly understand the complexities of this red flag, it's essential to delve into the underlying psychological mechanisms that drive this blame-shifting behavior. Often, it stems from a fragile ego and a deep-seated fear of failure. Admitting fault would be perceived as a catastrophic blow to their self-image, triggering overwhelming feelings of shame, inadequacy, and worthlessness. Deflecting blame becomes a necessary defense mechanism, a desperate attempt to protect themselves from these painful emotions. They may also lack empathy, struggling to see things from other people's perspectives or to understand the impact of their actions on those around them. They're often so consumed by their own needs, desires, and anxieties that they're unable to recognize or acknowledge the feelings of others. This lack of empathy makes it impossible for them to take responsibility for their mistakes, as they're simply incapable of grasping the consequences of their behavior. Furthermore, they may have a distorted sense of entitlement, believing that they deserve to be treated better than others and that they're somehow exempt from the normal rules and expectations of society. This sense of entitlement can lead them to justify their actions, even when they're clearly in the wrong, and to place the blame on anyone who dares to hold them accountable. The long-term consequences of remaining in a relationship with a chronic blame shifter can be devastating. You'll not only endure constant stress, frustration, and emotional turmoil, but you'll also experience a gradual erosion of trust, respect, and intimacy. The lack of accountability creates a toxic environment where genuine communication becomes impossible, and the relationship devolves into a perpetual power struggle. You'll find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, censoring your words, and suppressing your own needs in a futile attempt to avoid triggering her blame-shifting tendencies. It's crucial to recognize that you cannot change someone who is unwilling to change themselves. You can offer support, encouragement, and constructive feedback, but ultimately, it's up to her to acknowledge her flaws, take responsibility for her actions, and commit to personal growth. If she's unwilling to do so, the most loving and responsible action you can take is to prioritize your own well-being. and to walk away. Red flag number 4. The emotional puppet master. Manipulation tactics and the art of control. Hold on tight, because red flag number 4 is a doozy. The emotional manipulator. This is the woman who treats your feelings like a joystick, expertly pushing all the right buttons to elicit guilt, fear, or pity, all in a calculated effort to control your behavior and get what she wants. She's a master of emotional blackmail, subtly twisting your words, distorting your perceptions, and exploiting your vulnerabilities to manipulate you into doing her bidding. And the scariest part? She may not even realize she's doing it. Ever find yourself feeling inexplicably guilty, even when you know you've done nothing wrong? Ever feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do anything that might upset her? Ever feel like you're sacrificing your own needs and desires to appease her, even when it goes against your better judgment? If so, you may be entangled in the web of an emotional manipulator. As the video so astutely observes, emotional manipulation isn't always overt or dramatic. It doesn't always involve screaming matches, blatant threats, or theatrical displays of emotion. In fact, it's often far more subtle and insidious, relying on carefully crafted words, nonverbal cues, and passive-aggressive behavior to achieve its desired effect. These women are masters of disguise, adept at presenting themselves as helpless victims, wounded innocents, or selfless martyrs. They'll use guilt trips to pressure you into doing things you don't want to do, playing the victim card to elicit your sympathy, or employing the silent treatment as a form of punishment. They might remind you of past sacrifices they've made for you, express disappointment in your actions, or subtly threaten to withdraw their love and affection if you don't comply with their wishes. As the video explains, this is how a low-value woman maintains control. She doesn't inspire loyalty through respect or earn affection through genuine connection. She forces it through guilt, fear, and obligation. She turns you into a puppet, pulling your strings and manipulating your emotions to get what she wants, leaving you feeling confused, resentful, and utterly powerless. Let's break down some of the most common manipulation tactics. Guilt trips. After everything I've done for you, you can't even do this one small thing for me. This is a classic maneuver designed to make you feel selfish and ungrateful, compelling you to prioritize her needs above your own. Playing the victim. My life is so hard. No one understands me, and I have to deal with this all alone. This is a ploy to gain sympathy and support, making you feel obligated to rescue her from her self-created problems. The silent treatment. The complete withdrawal of communication and affection, designed to punish you for displeasing her and to force you to beg for forgiveness. Emotional blackmail. If you really loved me, you would. This is a direct threat, designed to exploit your fear of losing her love and to control your behavior through intimidation. Gaslighting. You're overreacting. That never happened. Twisting your perception of reality. Imagine this scenario. You've made plans to spend an evening with your friends, a long overdue get-together you've been looking forward to for weeks. She knew about these plans in advance and initially seemed supportive. However, as the day approaches, she becomes increasingly moody, distant, and withdrawn, creating a palpable atmosphere of tension and unease. You ask her what's wrong, and she sighs dramatically, replying, "Oh, nothing. Just go have fun. I'll be fine." But her tone and body language scream otherwise, conveying a clear message that you'll be punished if you dare to leave her alone. Consumed by guilt and anxiety, you find yourself questioning your decision, wondering if you're being selfish or inconsiderate. You ultimately cancel your plans, sacrificing your own enjoyment to appease her. only to discover that her mood magically improves as soon as you agree to stay home. Congratulations, you've just been manipulated, and you've reinforced her belief that she can control your behavior through guilt. The solution? You should call her out on her behavior. If she's acting upset but refuses to communicate, say, "If something is bothering you, I'm an adult in a grown-up relationship. Let's talk about it. But I'm not going to play guessing games." And as the video also adds, if she refuses to talk and keeps acting distant, don't chase. Go live your life. A high-value woman respects your independence and communicates her needs openly and honestly, rather than resorting to manipulative tactics. To truly protect yourself from emotional manipulation, it's essential to understand the underlying psychological mechanisms that make it so effective. Manipulators often target individuals who are empathetic, compassionate, and eager to please, exploiting their desire to help others and their fear of conflict. These women are skilled at identifying your vulnerabilities, your insecurities, and your emotional triggers. They use this knowledge to their advantage, expertly pushing your buttons and exploiting your weaknesses to gain control. They may prey on your fear of abandonment, your desire for approval, or your tendency to feel guilty. Furthermore, they often create a climate of fear and uncertainty in the relationship, making you constantly question your own sanity and perceptions of reality. This process, known as gaslighting, involves denying your experiences, minimizing your feelings, and distorting your memories to make you doubt your own judgment. Over time, this can erode your self-confidence and make you increasingly dependent on the manipulator for validation. It's crucial to recognize that emotional manipulation is a form of abuse. It's a violation of your boundaries, a betrayal of trust, and a systematic attempt to control and dominate you. If you suspect that you're being manipulated, seek support from trusted friends, family members, or a qualified therapist. They can help you to identify the manipulative tactics, to validate your feelings, and to develop a plan for protecting yourself. Remember, you deserve a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and open communication, not on manipulation, control, and emotional blackmail. Don't settle for anything less than you deserve. Red flag number 5. YOLO, the short-sighted spender and the art of avoiding responsibility. All right, let's dive into red flag number 5. The YOLO girl, the woman who's all about living in the moment with absolutely zero regard for the future. I'm talking about the type who blows her entire paycheck on designer shoes and VIP club tables, then complains about being broke for the rest of the month. A good, grounded woman thinks ahead and values stability and security, but these live for short-term goals only. A high-value woman thinks ahead and values her future. On the flip side, a low-value woman is impulsive and reckless. This shows up in how she spends her money all the time and never plans for it. She is always broke. She jumps around with jobs and never commits to anything, while the high-value woman looks to grow herself. And guess what the video asks? If she doesn't have long-term discipline for herself, how will she have it for your relationship? You meet a woman, and at first she is a fun person to be with. She is spontaneous and always down for a good time. After a while, though, you notice that she always complains that she is broke. She refuses to put together any type of plan for saving money. What does she do instead? She goes out every weekend clubbing and shopping. You only live once. Zarania. Here's the issue, and the video gets right to it. This is because a woman like this isn't thinking about building a future. She's living in the moment. What happens when you get serious with her? You'll be the one carrying the financial burden. You'll start thinking twice about her. A woman who jumps from job to job, never having a plan, also has this problem. Instead, value your future and find someone who wants the same in life. What should you do? As the video suggests, run from these types of people and do not allow yourself to get roped into a life with them. That's how it is with the broke girl. Let's paint a picture. You're dating a woman who's fun, adventurous, and always up for a spontaneous getaway. You love her free spirit and her infectious energy. But after a few months, you start to notice a pattern. She's perpetually broke, constantly complaining about money, and utterly incapable of sticking to a budget. She justifies her spending habits with the mantra, "You only live once," and scoffs at your attempts to save for a down payment on a house or a secure retirement. When you try to discuss your financial concerns, she accuses you of being uptight, boring, or even controlling. Or consider this. She can't hold down a job for more than a few months. She always has a sob story and always has a new reason to quit. This kind of irresponsibility gets old fast. You'll begin to feel like her babysitter, constantly bailing her out of financial emergencies and sacrificing your own goals to support her impulsive lifestyle. As the video nails, if she doesn't have long-term discipline for herself, how will she have it for your relationship? The answer is, you will not have it. So get away. Seriously. Digging deeper. The reasons why she can't think long-term. So why the heck are some women incapable of thinking beyond the next weekend? The reasons can vary, but here are a few common culprits. No good role models. If she grew up in a household where financial planning was non-existent and impulsivity was the norm, she may never have learned the value of saving, budgeting, and long-term thinking. Underlying issues. Impulsivity and recklessness can be symptoms of underlying issues like ADHD or even addiction. Fear of missing out. She might be so afraid of missing out on the next big thing that she can't focus on anything beyond immediate gratification. Low self-worth. Sadly, some women may have low self-worth and may be afraid of getting themselves on track and ruining her life as she has it now. Regardless of the reason, it's crucial to recognize that you're not a therapist and you can't force her to change. All you can do is protect yourself from the financial and emotional fallout of her recklessness. It's a hard lesson, but you deserve a partner who shares your values, who's willing to work with you to build a secure future, and who doesn't treat your bank account like a personal ATM. Red flag number 6. The "I don't need a man" girl. Undermining your masculinity. Finally, and perhaps most subtly, is the woman who doesn't respect your masculinity. The low-value woman always wants to compete with it. This woman has all the power. She does not let you lead in your relationship. She questions your choices and undermines your decisions. This is not for equality. They want power over you. She will always compete with you, never respect you. Now think about it. A high-value woman wants to support you and build something with you. This is not about simply being equal. The thing here is that she does not respect men in general. The video hits the nail on the head. Get out. This is who you need to be with. As the video says, whatever the reason, here's what you need to know. You can't fix this. Bottom line, you don't need a rival. You need a partner. So why are women like that? Maybe she feels weak or wants to climb the corporate ladder. Men and women should be working together. Find a person who wants the same. Here is what is important, is that you deserve respect in the relationship. It also might come down to an issue that she is scared she is not good enough, so she builds you up to get higher. The main thing to know is that men and women are supposed to work together, not against each other. There is no relationship without a foundation of respect. You are supposed to want to make each other better and not look to dominate one another. You need to be building, one another up. The big takeaway: protect yourself, choose peace, and find someone awesome. So to recap, here are the 6 deadly red flags that can turn your love life into a horror movie. Drama queen, avoid at all costs. Look at me, girl. Run far, far away. Blame shifter, not your problem, not your responsibility. Emotional manipulator, get out before she destroys you. YOLO, spender, save your bank account and your sanity. Masculinity competitor, you deserve respect, not a rival. This isn't about being a jerk or judging every woman you meet. It's about recognizing the warning signs, trusting your gut, and making smart choices that protect your heart, your mind, and your wallet. As the video so wisely concludes, you deserve a great relationship with a partner who respects, supports, and loves you unconditionally. Don't settle for anything less. Be honest with yourself and put yourself first. Trust your gut and always protect yourself first. Protect yourself first. Protect yourself first. Protect yourself first. Protect yourself first.